How to beat your food cravings once and for all. Food cravings can be incredibly powerful, so powerful that we can come to believe that they're impossible to resist. The really great news is that we can be more powerful than our cravings. If we follow a few simple, effective steps, we can beat these food cravings once and for all. The first thing to know is that food cravings are driven by two different mechanisms, our psychology and our physiology. First, let's talk about our psychology. When we crave food, what's really going on is that our unconscious mind is substituting food for the things that we really need. These real needs are emotional nurturing and healing. When we overeat, it's because in our unconscious mind, food has become associated with soothing, nurturing, and healing. We're convinced, deep down inside, that food must be the solution to our unmet needs and unhealed wounds. We keep overeating even when we don't feel substantially better because deep down we're convinced that eventually overeating is going to work for us. What we need to see is that when we crave food, it's not what we really want. We think we're hungry, but deep down inside, we're craving emotional soothing, healing, or nurturing. And until we give ourselves these things, we'll never stop having food cravings. Now let's talk about our physiology. In the human brain, there's an area called the reward pathway. The neurotransmitter dopamine is active here, and it gets particularly stimulated when we eat foods like sugar, salt, or fat. Dopamine is an interesting chemical because when it gets activated, we get an initial burst of pleasure, but immediately afterwards we get intense cravings for these same substances. The more we eat, the more we crave, so we become compelled to go for more sugary, salty, or fatty foods. It becomes a vicious circle because as we keep eating the foods, our cravings grow stronger and stronger. Instead of satisfying our cravings, eating sugar, salt, or fat only increases them. So what are we supposed to do about our food cravings? We need to understand that the reason they're so powerful is because they're driven by both our physiology and our psychology. That's why we need a solution that deals with both of these things. The problem with dieting is that it ignores our emotional needs. When we diet, we feel more emotionally deprived and therefore more upset. Eventually, we become so upset that our willpower breaks down and we go back to overeating. Even if we have tremendous willpower and we stay on the diet, we'll be constantly at war within ourselves, one part of us craving these comfort foods and one part restricting them. We'll never feel happy or at peace while this inner war is raging. That's why dieting is a big fail. Instead of dieting, we have to do two things. First, we have to start giving ourselves the emotional nurturing and healing that we really need. If this seems like an overwhelming task and it's hard to know where to begin, I suggest finding a professional who can assist you in the process. The next thing to do is break free of the physical part of the addiction. The only way a heroin addict or a cigarette smoker can stop craving their drug of choice is to go cold turkey. They have to experience a real physical withdrawal and finally get to the other side of the cravings. It's the same with sugar, salt, and fat. We need to stop eating them altogether for a period of time. We need to break the physical addiction to these things by going into withdrawal. It might take a week, it might take a month or more, but if we want to break the physical cravings, it's what we have to do. The good news is that once we've gone cold turkey and the cravings are finally gone, we will experience such a fantastic state of inner peace and freedom that the previous discomfort will have been well worth it. The true secret to overcoming our food cravings is to fight them on both the physical and the emotional fronts. The only way to have freedom and happiness is to get rid of these overpowering cravings. If we deal with our emotional wounds and our physical addiction, freedom from food cravings is guaranteed. To learn more about this topic, check out my new online course, How to Stop Overeating Once and for All. The link can be found in the description box below.